Happy Friday, everybody. It's Josh here, joined as always by Mr. Andrew Champagne, drinking champagne. Andrew rocking the On the Wrong Lead t-shirts, handicapping wagering bourbon. You can buy your own here at
It's awesome
onthewronglead.com.
you had that queued up. It's almost like we planned that, and we did not.
I literally made that QR code at some point, and I was like, yeah, it'd be funny to use it. And then I don't know, Andrew, you have mentioned to me multiple times I have a problem with self promotion. I don't like to throw that out there too much. If people want to buy a shirt, more than welcome to.
It's a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see me modeling this shirt. They've got it in a bunch of sizes. It's a good shirt. And if you're watching us on YouTube, go down below, hit all the buttons, the likes button, the subscribe button, the alerts button, every button down there that you can imagine. You just go ahead and hammer it.
So I want to warn everybody, and obviously, if you're listening to this on podcast form, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you do have a duration. Like you can see how long this is. So I want to get this out up front. This is going to be a shorter episode than we normally do.
We promise. We
So
promise.
so we say that. So let's see if we hold to our promise. But it's been kind of I don't know. It's been a kind of quiet couple weeks. I think it's that calm before the storm, before Belmont, which at least like to me always that Belmont card was always feels like the kick into the beginning of summer racing. You know what I mean? Like the true summer racing. And obviously that peaks with Del Mar and Saratoga in that order.
No,
But
not in that order. Not in that order. Nowhere close to that order. And for those of you that know me, you know why.
oh, damn it. I always forget. So the peak of Saratoga, which Andrew, it does sound like Saratoga is not happening this year for me. So I think I'm putting up the white flag. Um, I will
Bless
say
you.
so. Before we get into that, if you can't hear, I'm congested as all get out.
Yes, this is the Vegas hangover that I believe we're experiencing right now.
Um, and we'll talk more about this when I talk a little about my trip. But my wife and I last week before we left, we didn't feel great. We didn't feel that sick though. It was kind of like we both felt like we had like some sinus stuff going on. We were a little congested, no fevers, no cough, nothing. And so we're like, all right, it's been 5 days, 4 or 5 days. We felt a little run down. We haven't had a fever, no COVID, nothing. I'm like we're gonna go on this trip. Like it's probably just some type of sinus infection or something. Like we'll be fine. Um, and we had we had a couple rough days where we were congested. And if you've ever flown while congested, sometimes when you come back down, your ears don't really ever clear up, and it takes a couple days to like actually like normalize. Well, uh, now add in a high speed elevator to that, and Andrew, it was just the worst thing possible. Whenever we were in a hotel room, we were fine. We would take the elevator down and we'd hit that high speed area. By the time we got down, all of our hearing was muffled.
What?
We couldn't, yeah. It was the
What?
craziest thing. Yeah, like our ears didn't pop.
I was waiting for you to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But so we dealt with that. So we were in Vegas for about 5 days. We flew in Sunday or Saturday night, flew out Wednesday night, and for the better part of those first 3 days, it was just like, yeah, it was not great. And then my wife got like food poisoning or
Oh
something
no.
also, and so she had a real rough night one night,
Oh, that's not good at
and
all,
uh,
man. I'm
and
sorry.
then once that happened, it was smooth sailing after that. Obviously, I feel fine. I still got some congestion up here, but like I don't know. I feel about as normal as you can with that, but yeah. So that was kind of a rough little thing, but um, when I was out in Vegas and I had some time, like we spent a little bit more time in the hotel room just because, hey, we weren't feeling all that great. So we would come back, take a nap, which we normally do, but we were coming back a little bit earlier, keeping early nights and stuff. And I took a peek at hotel pricing, and unfortunately, Hotel Champagne was booked up.
Oh, damn.
But I mean, Andrew, like I'm not spending $250 a night to stay at a Best Western in Clifton Park. I just like, you know, I think I paid like 180 last time I went, and that was like the highest I felt like I wasn't getting completely ripped off. But I mean, $250, it's just like no. And it just happened to coincide with before I was coming back. My buddy Gary texted me or messaged me. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'll probably be out in Vegas in August." And I just so happened to catch Southwest and round trip because I have points in the gift card. My flight to Vegas at the end of August, $140 round trip.
Well done, good sir. Well done indeed.
And then I have a fully comped room, no resort fees or anything, at least Luxor, but we're gonna wait. Sometimes if you book too soon, like they just give you like whatever the lowest hotel is. So I'll see if anything better opens up. But I think there's something going on that Saturday because all the other nights are comped at all the other resorts. It's just Saturday for some reason is real expensive. So
In late August,
yeah, I thought it
it
was gonna be
might
NFL,
be
but it's
it might be a
preseason still.
Raiders, yeah, Raiders preseason game
They're
maybe.
away.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, so yeah, the pricing at Saratoga is just a little out of control this year. I mean, I know everything's getting more expensive. I mean, just watch the news. People will be more than happy to tell you that. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Uh, it it was hard to pull the trigger. And then I was talking with Caleb too, and Caleb's kind of run into the same thing where um, it's just it's really expensive. He's still going to do it because he thinks it's probably going to be at least 2 years before he can take
Yep.
another trip. So he's definitely gonna go for it this year. But but yeah, I honestly don't remember where my point started to all that. We were talking about something,
It
but
was something about prices and how you were looking up stuff. And
um,
I can relate to the thing that you were talking about because I ran into some issues with Saratoga a couple of days ago. The fine folks at Spirit Airlines canceled a route from Newark to Oakland. They ran a daily 6 p.m. flight out of Newark to Oakland, nonstop, no nonsense. Naturally, because it was convenient for me, they canceled the route. It's the second time an airline has done that. JetBlue had a Hartford to SFO route that I very much loved, and they canned that. So, yeah, what I'm now doing is I'm staying a day longer than I thought. I need to work on the Monday, but I'm flying out of Albany on the Monday night, stopping in Chicago for a 50-minute layover, which, not going to lie, makes me a little bit nervous, and then getting back into Oakland a little after midnight on the Tuesday. So not ideal, that's for sure. And it makes you think, did travel always suck this much, or
mhm,
has the pandemic just ripped the band-aid off?
yeah, yeah. I don't know, and I think we've talked about this a little bit. You mentioned was it last time you flew, maybe 2 times ago, about the person vaping in the
Hey, I got in the Wall Street Journal for that one.
so like I don't know, and like here, so we flew United, right?
I'm
So
sorry.
we flew United. I love United.
Oh, I hate United.
I hate Southwest,
So
but it's
United
so
for
cheap.
me, the flight attendants for United, I feel like you get points if you steer the drink cart into somebody's shoulder and I'm an aisle guy, that's never pleasant.
Um, we were in a brand new plane. It was beautiful. It was a really
Okay.
nice. It was really comfortable. But you know, my like we're not going to pay for seats, so we get whatever the free or the cheapest seats are, right? When you have to
Hmm.
pick your seat. So so we're usually always in the back, but we have a United credit card. We board group 2, so we never have to worry about overhead bin space or anything like that. It's great.
That's a
Um
lifesaver.
yeah, so I don't know what it is. So we were in row 36 both times. There's probably like 38 or 40 rows in the entire plane. And I don't know what it is about row 35, but the people who sit in row 35 are just the absolute worst. Um, they are always the people that as soon as they land, they stand up, they get into the aisle, and they start pulling their bags down. And like I like look at my wife and I'm like, there's 34 other rows that have to clear before they can go. At least that's what a sane person thinks. But if you sit in row 35, you know what you're thinking? You're thinking, as soon as somebody hesitates, I'm going. And like they're like sitting there like ready to go, like when like before first class is even off. And I'm just like what? And then sure enough, these fucking idiots are just sitting there with their stupid carry-on, pushing their way through. Like does nobody know the rules anymore? It goes row by row.
There's a line in the Big Lebowski that talks about that. Am I the only one that gives a shit about the rules? Um,
Like
there is one acceptable reason for that sort of behavior, and that is if there is a layover, they need to catch another plane. That I don't love the look. I can understand it. Having said that, at my size, and I'm not going to mention my size because I don't want to get dinged in that homage to the Dan Patrick show. Oh, you actually have the sound effect there. Okay,
mhm,
nice. Um, at my size, after a long flight, I won't get my bag. I might stand up.
mhm.
That's a little different.
Yeah. But in your first situation with the connection, anytime I've been on a flight, I've heard them be like, "Hey, we have people with a connection. Please, we ask that you sit in your seats and let the people with connection go
Yep.
through." And guess what? The exact opposite happens.
Oh,
People who definitely do not have a connection are getting up and getting their way out, and I'm just like, dude,
oh,
like,
there's a
I have,
special place in hell for those people.
but like, I just don't understand like what it is about the airport where just human decency just like flies out. Like flying is a nightmare, you
And
know?
it didn't always seem that way. Did the pandemic just reveal every single weakness that we've tried to hide with air travel? And look, I travel more than most people. My family is 3,000 miles away from where I'm living. I've been doing a lot of traveling the last couple of months. I'll be doing a lot of traveling the next couple of weeks. And I'm fortunate and I enjoy traveling. But there are certain things with travel that are just a nightmare. And for those of you out there that travel Southwest, I feel like we're seeing the prelude to them doing away with free bags because they came up with another level of pricing that's just above the want to get away rate. And there's no real benefit to that yet. But I have to imagine at some point they're going to start investigating doing away with flying bags for free to your destination. And that's one of the appealing parts of Southwest, the fact that you're able to do that with no baggage fees. So it's just a horrible situation all the way around. And especially, Josh, if you were saying you were sick, I flew back after California Chrome's Preakness. And shout out to a friend of mine, Lafitte Pinkai III, who bought us all, I believe they were shots of Patron most of the evening. That didn't go well for yours truly the next morning. Try flying with that kind of a hangover. Not good. Not good.
I forgot to tell you the other story about flying.
All right.
So
Well, then tell
so
it now. It fits.
we're going this just happened. This was on Saturday on our flight out. I'm sitting there. I'm just what am I watching? Um I might be watching Drive to Survive on Netflix. So the one thing I do like about United is if you buy the Wi-Fi, you can stream Netflix, YouTube, that kind of stuff. I know in Southwest you can't. But so I'm sitting there, I'm watching Drive to Survive, and all of a sudden, I feel someone go like this and knock my headphones off. And I'm like, what a fucking dick. Who's just like walking back here to the bathroom, just fucking knocking people's like, and so I turn around, the dude's on the floor, face down. So apparently I'm sitting there, right, and I'm just watching, and I feel my headphones get knocked out. The guy was trying to, I guess, like reach for like the seat and missed, hit my head and my headphones off,
Oh
and
no.
face planted.
Oh no.
And all of a sudden, you hear, are there any medical
Is
professionals
there a
on?
doctor in the house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
any medical professionals here? Um, and so for about 5 minutes, everyone's just like staring back. Dude, nobody is hitting the button. Nothing. They're like, please, if you are a medical professional, please hit your call light. We need a medical professional. We have a medical emergency here. Nobody hits their call light,
Oh dear.
and um, his buddies come back and notice that he's been gone, and they're like, "Oh, he's the guy." Because they're like, "Who needs the medical help?"
What the
Then
hell
they
took you
realize,
so
"Oh, he's the
long?
guy." So probably about 5 or 6 minutes pass, and they come back and they're like, "Well, he had like 2 or 3 drinks at the airport, like." Which is significant, but like not enough that you're just like passing out.
You're buzzed. You're not
Yeah.
drunk.
So apparently that plus like I guess I don't know, he hadn't flown in a long time, and I think he said he felt really dizzy, and then he passed out.
Oh dear.
So, but the third time they call, finally people start hitting their call lights. There's like a nurse, an EMT, a bunch of other people on the flight, and like we're like, where were you the first 3 times that we called?
Oh,
You know what's funny?
geez.
Actually, here's the even funnier part because I forgot about this, but so after the second time, they make an announcement. Hey, we need to postpone drink service and snack cart service because the guys on the ground.
Oh
So they're
gosh.
like, there's going to be a delay in that. And after they made that announcement and they asked for medical professionals again, yeah, they started hitting their lights. So
I'm not going to help you for the, benefit of helping my fellow man, but heaven help you if you threaten my drink service and my Sprite is late even for a second.
yeah, it was. I thought that was pretty hilarious, but I mean,
Was the
like I
guy
said, I
all
was.
right after all of that?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
fine, but I mean, I was pissed, dude, because like I'm like, who's just knocking headphones off of people over here? And yeah, then I turn around, the guy's on the ground. I'm like, oh, that would explain that.
Yeah,
But
that'd do it. My goodness.
but
That's,
yeah,
yeah.
traveling's a nightmare, man. And then our flight back was basically without incident, but guess what? Row 35 showed up again. Completely unrelated people. Same exact thing. Actually, row 35 was the flight back. Row 37 was the flight in because I was standing waiting to get my bag, and literally the people behind me just get in and they go in front of me, and I'm like I like looked and I turned to my wife. I'm like, did that just happen? And they were speaking English the entire time during the flight, but all of a sudden now they don't speak English. They're talking. I'm like, okay, okay, fine. We're gonna do this. That's fine. I'm not gonna sweat the 10 seconds that you save there, but like decency is just out the window. But man,
Oh, boy.
flying is just something else, man. So good
It
luck.
is.
Good luck
Yeah.
on your flight overseas.
Thank you. I already had to dodge a bullet today. This is the story I was telling you about in our pre show meeting. So, my flight leaves at 5 p.m. on Friday, June 2nd, to head to England. And because I am a preparer slash anal in general, I checked in as soon as I could. And I'm happy I did because I look on my boarding pass. Everything lines up. The people that booked this did a really nice job. They did right by me. I've got Comfort Plus seating in pretty much every flight because they're really long flights and I'm kind of large. So I look. at the boarding pass, and my boarding pass has my name spelled Andrew, AndrewMR. And I'm wondering, okay, that's not correct. And I'm traveling internationally. So I have this picture in my mind of me having to prove that all of this is just an honest mistake and that I'm the person I say I am while fighting to get out of airport jail, right? But I have enough lead time to where I can call Virgin Atlantic, who is doing this flight. Pretty excited about that. Virgin America was my favorite airline, and then they merged with Alaska, and all the cool stuff went straight out the window. Um, so I call, and I'm on hold for 45 minutes. And I tweeted because the way it's set up, every 90 seconds, the hold music stops for a couple of seconds, and you think somebody's picked up the phone, and it's just the recording saying, please continue to hold. Not good. Finally get to talking to somebody. Virgin Atlantic's system is such that it will take the salutation for a person, Mr., Mrs., Ms., whatever, and they will put it on the end of a first name. And apparently, the airline, TSA, and other security forces in other countries have just decided that's okay. So Mr. Andrew Champagne turned into Andrew Mir Champagne, which made me think I had an evil twin in a parallel universe who was a Russian spy or something. And that was 45 minutes of my life that I spent on hold that I will never, ever, ever get back.
The United, I think United, I know United does, but I think also Southwest might with the middle name, where they combine it with your first name.
Yeah, there's a couple of places that do that. I saw that on my Italy tickets actually in a couple of weeks. I think I forget the name of the airline. It might be Air Transat that did that. Yeah, I've seen that too. It's just one of those things where you're going, wait a minute, isn't the name on the ticket supposed to match the name on the ID? Like, isn't that the most basic thing imaginable?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's certainly weird, and it's the first part of a very strange itinerary for me. I did not set out at the start of the year to go to Europe twice in 3 weeks. The Italy trip was planned. The England trip came up when I won my way into academy. So it's just one of those things that you smile, you look back on, and you hope like hell when I get to the airport tomorrow at about 2:00, 3 hours before my flight. Yes, I'm one of those people that everything just sorts itself out.
We did that. We did that on the way out. We had a 3 p.m. flight. We got there around noon. We also had airport. Oh man, what is it? Airports. The bar, the airport lounge. We had
Okay.
United Club passes.
Well, yeah, you get there early. You want to relax a little bit. In my case, it's an international flight, so I want to make sure I allot plenty of time to go through the checkpoints. And also, if I get to SFO at 2:00, that beats a lot of the rush on a Friday afternoon, evening with people trying to fly out. So it makes sense to get there early. And if you or a loved one ever misses a flight because you're late to the airport, you will never do it again.
Yeah. We had to run once, and
I'm trying to imagine you running through an airport,
yeah.
and
So
that's
we
a
had to
very
run once,
fun
but
visual.
here's the best part. Is I was we were in a really long security line. This is before we had pre-check, and I was messaging my buddies on Discord, and I mean whatever, we're all friends here. My buddy Chase, who's in our group chat, he goes
The chase that is the Wolf of
Wolf of
Oaklawn.
Oaklawn,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, the guy that was at Trader Vic's and his hair was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. He said something along the lines of like, "Well, I hope you miss your flight," or something like.
Why would you
playfully.
do that? Why would you put that into the universe, Chase? Why would you do that?
There's more to it. Like, I probably instigated it somehow or something. Like we're
No.
just gonna say we're
You
gonna
instigating something,
yeah.
perish the thought.
I'm not gonna put this all on Chase. But Chase said that, and I was like explaining to him how like not cool that was and all this other stuff, and he basically was like, I don't care, like I whatever, like I just said something like whatever, and so I was pissed. So I'm sitting there messaging all the while we're running to the gate, and I'm still like angry messaging. And my wife said when we got on the plane, she's like, I was gonna leave you. I was running. I was making the gate no matter what. And you're over there messing around on your phone. Like I was gonna leave your ass behind.
Do you see what I'm doing, honey?
Yeah. So I was just like, it was not one of my finest moments.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I have never missed a flight, knock on wood, salt over the shoulder. The story I have about a flight being missed comes in the early to mid 2000s. My sister, who most accomplished person I know, got her master's from your neck of the woods, the University of Chicago. And
nice.
my mom was coming back from Chicago. She was flying into one of the New York City airports. I forget which one. So my stepfather, God bless his soul, unfortunately, we lost him a couple of years ago. He drove down from where we lived, which was 2 hours north. Drives down, no mom. Wasn't on the plane. This was back before the days of these kinds of phones. And when people had the flip phones that were for emergencies that like they kept in the car just in case they needed them, mom apparently showed up to her flight about 45 minutes before it was supposed to take off. Now, this was, let's see, 2005, I believe. So, not all that long after 9/11, when airport security was not something to be trifled with. According to my mother's recollection of this story, she was pulled out of line because they thought she was a terrorist. Me being logical in my head, I'm thinking she tried to run and jump the line because she was late for her flight. Whatever the case may be, my poor stepfather drives down there, turns on his phone, has a voice message from my mother saying she missed the flight. My stepdad has to drive the 2 hours back home, work the next day, and drive the 2 hours down to get my mother, and then drive 2 hours back home again. Don't miss your flights, kids, especially when you have people that are waiting on you that have graciously, taken time out of their day or night to meet you at the airport and show for you where you need to go. The least you can do is show up on the early side of things.
Yeah.
Miss you, Harry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, air travel, man, like what a nightmare. But excuse me. Going back to, I guess, just the trip in general, we stayed at Vidara, which is just behind Aria. It's all suites, no casino attached, but really, to get to Aria is like a 3 minute walk outside.
The
It's
only
not.
problem with Aria is it's a walk to get to the rest of the strip, and
Hmm.
going down to get there is all downhill from what I
Yeah,
remember, and that's fine. But getting back up there, oh boy.
yeah. So we spent a lot of time at Aria. We spent a lot of time at Bellagio because it's a pretty close walk. And then New York, New York. Um, we
Sorry, New York is not one of my favorite places.
no, why not? It looks exactly like New York.
I had the second worst blackjack dealer of my life at New York, New York. Story for another time. Keep
I
going.
think is that. Have you told this story before?
No, I told the Mirage story on
Mm.
here at one point. That's the guy who I texted my dad saying I was there, and he started yelling at me for being on my phone before I even sat down at the table.
Oh,
New York, I was playing $5 blackjack with people that had never played blackjack before. I forget what the hand was, but the dealer had a five up. They had a 13 or a 14, and they were looking around the table asking for advice. I said, assume the dealer has a 10. She has to hit. You're fine. I would stay. And then the dealer, the rest of the time I was there, was surly to me for, quote, telling her players what to do. Screw off, lady.
Oh yeah, you did tell this story before.
Oh, well, we're starting to get into the 30s for episodes, and we don't exactly have the key plot points of all of them on our cue cards here.
Yeah,
But
and I'm planning to be. I'm planning my third Vegas trip, and there's already a fourth one that is penciled in the books for December. So,
nice.
um, yeah. So these stories will probably come up again. But
Hey,
I
you know
know. I
what?
know.
Sometimes you got to play the hits.
I just know that my friend Bill, who listens, I don't know if he listens to all the episodes, but listens to most of them. He says he always appreciates the Vegas stories because
Bill.
because it's everyone can just do talk about content and or not content, but talk about like handicapping and sequences and stuff like that. But we sometimes we do that, bigger weekends and stuff like that. But I think kind of being on the fringes of horse playing and gambling and other stuff, I think is fun, especially. I mean, technically, Andrew. I mean, you work in the gaming journalism, not necessarily horse racing
It's
anymore.
an adjacent field, and there's some racing stuff that I do for the day job. Cheap plug, by the way. If you go to playny.com at some point next week, you'll see an article that I wrote on Secretariat. This is, of course, if you've been living under a rock and haven't seen any of the marketing materials, the 50th anniversary of Secretariat's Triple Crown win. So they asked me to write something. I said, sure. I took the Secretariat movie to task a little bit for a couple of details they got wrong. That's always fun.
um, but anyways, yeah. So with Vegas, we stayed at Avadara, beautiful room. Love staying there. Um, you guaranteed to get a fridge, which is not a guarantee anymore in
That's for
Vegas.
sure.
But yeah, so the room was beautiful. We had a couple really nice dinners. We ate at Julian Serrano Tapas. If you are a big tapas fan, I recommend it. But I don't know. Not everyone likes Spanish food, or is as passionate for it, and it can get pricey because you're ordering 2-3 items per person.
And you don't get a lot for what you order. That's
Yeah.
my hangup. I enjoy Spanish food. There is a small chain in the Bay Area called Teleferic that has a couple of locations in prominent areas. Teleferic is very good. The food is very good. They have patatas bravas that are my favorite thing on the menu.
Yep.
Having said that, you don't get much for what you're paying.
No.
And when I sit down to eat food, I want to eat food.
Yeah.
That's my hangup.
So I liked it. The drinks are good, but I don't know. I told my wife I don't know if we need to eat there again. Not that it was bad or anything, but I just think that style of food for us, like, you really need to go with a group. You need to go because I feel like there's like just like some diminishing returns when you're only going with a small group because you
Mhm.
never know how much to order, that kind of stuff. Um, the food's good. The service is always good. Then we had brunch at Border Grill, which is probably my favorite brunch spot in Vegas. Um, you get it's a little under $40. I think it's like 36.99 or something like that. It's all you can eat, but it's small plates. So you order what you want. And so kind of to counter the tapas thing where it's like, hey, it's small plates. Well, here you're paying one fixed price. So yeah, the plate might be small, but you just keep ordering them and they
Keep
keep
it
coming.
coming. Keep it
Yeah.
coming.
And then they have bottomless mimosas, and
Yeah,
I
that was
appreciate.
when you texted me. Yeah.
It was when I texted you, yeah. And what I appreciate about the bottomless mimosas is sometimes places are just like they come out and they just like refill your glass. Here, they just put the bottle out for you. They give you your juices, and they're like, "Have at it." And we finished 2 bottles. It was me, my wife, and my mom, and I was kind of like ready to get back gambling. And the guy's like, I can just bring the other bottle out and I can bring you plastic cups and you guys can just make one to go. And I
Wow,
was like,
he's
thank
earning
you,
his tip.
sir. Thank you, sir. You are definitely getting the full 25%. So, yeah. So, and the food there is really good. It's, I'll say Mexican inspired. Uh, there are certain things on the menu where my mom obviously she was born in Mexico. Uh, she will say this tastes exactly like the way my grandmother made it. And there's other stuff that is like total like fusion, fusion stuff. So which is fine. Like, but the flavors are really authentic. It's really good, and I've always enjoyed it. I've had it. We've gone there for dinner before. It was fine, but if you're gonna go, definitely go for brunch. So at this point, we've been in Vegas for less than 24 hours. Andrew, half my bankroll was basically gone.
Ooh.
It was murder, just absolute murder. And
Ooh, that's
um,
not
I
good.
had, I have been, I've been interested. I went on this trip with the thought I'm going to play a lot of craps, and
That never ends well. Those thought
so
processes,
yeah,
they
so
don't
I'm
end
like, so
well.
that was my goal. My goal was to play a lot of craps. Um, I play only the digital machines because, unfortunately, you're looking at $25 um, at the Aria. You might find 15 at some of the other strip properties, but I mean, the amount of money I lost playing $5 craps, I could only imagine multiplying that by three. So yeah, I was playing pass line. I was playing the digital machines lets you take 2x odds only. So I was taking 2x odds, and then um, I was playing the 6 and the 8.
There are craps purists out there that are going to be hammering the comment section of this video, and I hope you are ready for the onslaught and the hell that they are about to send your way. Not my
Why?
way, not
What I
my
do?
way, your way.
Why? Because I'm playing digital.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, it's $5 craps. They
it's
can't mess.
digital craps
Yeah, but they can't mess with the machine that much. It's still dice.
that you know of.
No. Anyways, so yeah, so we finished up brunch, and I'm in the whole. Okay, so I lost basically a quarter of my bankroll Saturday night. It was bad,
Yeah, not
right?
good.
But I'm like, it's okay. We can recover. I get out of brunch. I find a machine. Well, unlike the other machines I had played, this one offered 3, 4, 5x odds, right? Which is what you get at a table. Well, me thinking, okay, well, I'm maxing out the odds. This would be great. This is good. Maybe we can make up some ground. In fact, turned into maybe we can lose money even faster.
You were chasing.
I wasn't chasing. I was just playing the max odds, like because that's what's presented to me. But instead of it being 2x, it could be 5x, right? So instead of me putting $10 behind, I'm not putting $25 behind.
That's chasing. That's literally what chasing is.
No, chasing would be if the strategy is to play max odds, you play the max odds. So it's not chasing. I was playing the same strategy. It just happened that this machine had
We'll
higher
sort
odds.
this out in the comment
Oh
section
God.
below.
Anyways, so by probably around lunch or late lunchtime, right? So about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we had gotten out of brunch. I had sat down on the machine for 2 hours. I have not even been in Vegas for 24 hours. I've literally landed, played, ate dinner, played a little bit, ate, played again. I'm through half my bankroll in basically 24 hours.
Not good.
No, and so I'm just like, all right, well, I'm gonna stay the course. And Andrew, the next 2 days were basically more of the same.
Oh,
So
you gave me hope there was a rally coming.
so my mom had to leave to come back on Tuesday afternoon, like around 2. At that point, I had reached into the emergency money. Um, her debit card. It was it's funny how this worked out. Her debit card didn't work when we were at Circa, and so I went to the ATM and I took money out for her, and she just Zelled me over money or whatever, right? But it was money. It was basically like I basically had like I don't know $100 to my name, and then the money I took out for my mom that she gave back to me, which was like my break in case of emergency money, right? Like an extra couple $100, to hold me over. So I'm looking. I got like a day and a half still. So my mom flies out. on Tuesday. Andrew, the heater began.
Okay, there was
All
a
right,
heater. I
the
was
heater
hoping there
began.
was a heater at some point.
I sat, Andrew. It was just the funniest thing because of all the things for the heater to start at, it was the Fortune Cup machine. It was the Fortune Cup machine. Andrew, I put $100 in this Fortune Cup machine, and we are not. We are at the Bellagio for maybe 15 minutes. I'm
Oh,
cashing out
what a
two.
great and wonderful
I'm
place
cashing
this
out
is.
240 in like 15 minutes. I put 100 in. I'm playing like $6 a race or something. I end up hitting like $140 on like a Quinella and that I had it for $5, and I think it was
What
like
was your handicapping strategy?
so. You really want to know?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And if there's a better kicker, I don't know what it is. What's
Look at
your handicapping strategy for Fortune Cup?
so here's the thing, right? It's a slot machine, right? So it's not predetermined, but like if the horse is 5-1, right? On the or yeah, is 4-1. It says 5x. It means the horse is 4-1. It's got a true chance of like 20% of winning, right? I'm just making up fuzzy math at this point but we'll just get the point across, right? Like it's true odds minus the vig on top, right? So if you look at the Quinella payouts, right, it's the same thing, right? It's true odds minus the vig, and every once in a while you'll notice something. For example, a horse will be like 15-1, and another horse will be 2-1, and you look at the Quinella, and the Quinella's paying like 12x, right? And you're like, huh, well, that's weird because you would think the expected odds of an even money horse and a 15-1 horse to run 1-2 would be greater than 12-1. So I see that, and I'll play something like that. I'll put $5 on it or whatever, and then I will bet the longer shot horse. This worked like 4 times where I was betting like $5. And Andrew, I'm not even kidding you. On Fortune Cup, I think I made like $600. I'm not even kidding you, Andrew. I cashed one out for
I
no. I
just
made I
love
made
that there's a strategy for Fortune Cup.
dude. Actually, I wasn't 600. It was 300 because I cashed out for 240 that one night, and then I cashed out for 300 the next day.
Do we have the applause button? Hit the applause button on your soundboard, will you please? Good
Yeah.
job. Good job.
So we had life, right? We had what was basically had like a day's bankroll for like 2.5 days. We doubled it up. We were basically on course after this, right?
Okay.
We're on course where if I zero out, I would have basically spent the amount of money that I had budgeted, and I would have lasted the entire time, right? So we're good at this point, right? Like it's like if I lose my money, I lose my money. I'm done. But at least, hey, I got some of it back. Like I have enough money for the rest of the trip. And so I play a little bit. I'm probably down to like I don't know, $100, $200 or something. The last day, right? Like which if I lost that last 200, I'm like, hey, I leave, and I leave, basically with what I expected to lose. And I sat down at a bubble craps machine, the individual ones. And Andrew, the stars aligned.
There we go.
I was playing five on the pass line, 2x odds behind, 12 on the 6 and 8. And I think like the first couple points were always either a 6 or an 8. So I was putting $12 on it. If I hit, I would collect. If it hit again, I would press. So now it's up to 24. Well, Andrew, I just kept on hitting these 6s and 8s, and then I would, instead of pressing, I'd put all the other numbers. So I just kept on doing this, and I wasn't, and I was only rolling 7s when I was on the come out roll. It was incredible. Like I've never seen this happen. Like I've never had a roll like this ever. And so 200 turned to 300, then turned to 400, turned to 500, turned to 600. And when it was at 600, I hit a number. I'm at like 650. and I have all the numbers pressed up to $20, and I have the 6 and 8 pressed to 48. So what? Probably what is that? 60, like 150, $160 on the table. I'm up $400, $450. So I'm up like $600 at this point, and I 7 out, clears out the bets, but it's fine. Like I had cashed those bets multiple times and then
Yeah.
pressed them, so I'm feeling great. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do one more. I pit the pass line, do that, get a point, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna play $10 across, and we're gonna go for it again. And 7 out, and I'm like, I'm good. I cash out, and I cashed out $600 for a $400 profit in that last machine. And
Attaboy.
then I still had like another $200 or $300 left. So I was just like, all right, this craps voucher's coming home with me. And then I just played the rest of the money. My wife and I, we just played slots, just relax the rest of the trip. And so I came back. I brought cash back with me. That is going to help seed my next trip, which is how I like to do it. So I have a little bit of budget for next trip, and then obviously I'll add to it. And yeah, it was just uh, it was. I really do feel like my mom was just a mush, because as soon as she left, Andrew, my wife and I started feeling better. We started hitting numbers on the craps machines. We started hitting numbers on the Fortune Cup machine. I'm not sure how happy MGM's going to be with my uh, what is it? My ADT, because I was playing craps and Fortune Cup only basically those last couple of days. But when I normally play slots all the time, but
I've
it
got a
is what it is.
question. I've
Yep,
got a question. Are you sure, absolutely sure, that your mother does not watch and or listen to this show?
absolutely.
Okay. I got burned by that. I'm just saying. You're playing a very dangerous game with this if you're using this as a platform to go after females in your life of any sort. I'm just saying, don't do it. Or if you're going to do it, be very, very careful. And if she's out there, hi, honey, love you, really looking forward to Italy.
Yeah, but yeah, like I mean, it sucked. Like honestly, Andrew, those first couple days, the food was good. As always, we did the Roy Choi Best Friend, which is one of my favorite restaurants in Vegas. Um, if you check one out, like I would definitely go to Roy Choi's Best Friend. They have a tasting menu that's like $70. It is a ton of food. It is more food than it needs to be. But it was great. They have a vegetarian tasting menu, so my wife was able to get her own food as well. So that was really good. And then our one of our favorite places to eat is Din Tai Fung in the Aria. Have you eaten there, or have you eaten at
Uh,
any of the locations?
I haven't. The one in Arcadia near Santa Anita is the flagship, but I
Yeah,
hadn't gone there.
it's good. It's good. It's a Taiwanese dumpling
Hmm.
style dumplings,
Yeah.
noodles, that kind of stuff. But when we went to NHC last year, 2022, I brought a bunch of the guys there, and they all loved it. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I mean, the comeback did happen. I was happy that we were able to get a little bit of cash back, but yeah, it was just funny. Like I was, like I said, I'm not I'm very new to craps, and that's why I play on the digital craps, because I want to figure out what I'm doing on the smaller stakes before I go basically triple up my stake, right, to play a $15 table. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. And honestly, Andrew, like one of the nice things is too is that like the machines, they're like the two seaters, right? Like where two people can sit down. And like my wife's not gonna play $5 craps, right? She's just like whatever. So I just let
And
her.
why not?
Because she's not that big of a degenerate. Well, she will play $5 craps, but she'll only play the pass line and not do anything else. But she's able to sit down next to me and hit the button and roll for me, right? And we alternate rolls and stuff like that. So it's fun. But yeah, we are at time exactly. So Andrew, you got anything you want to plug before you go on your world tour?
Yeah, if you're looking for fun travel content from your favorite semi-professional degenerate, Twitter is at Andrew Champagne. I'll be in England for a week. I'll be in Germany for a night. I'll be back here for a couple of days, and then I am off to Italy. As far as podcast stuff goes, we don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
But I'll be doing a lot of stuff there on my Twitter at Andrew Champagne. Also follow me on Instagram at 142winners. I'll be having a whole bunch of pictures there because the place that I'll be staying in for the week is absolutely stunning. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of travel over the next couple of weeks, though. So if you like that stuff, that could be a cool follow for you. The dad joke that I will leave you with, because we need to end with one of these. Josh, I'm going to see a friend when I'm in London. I don't know if I've told you this. My friend's name is Ben. There's just one problem. I don't know if he has time for me. Good night, everybody.
You're the worst, Andrew.